The mother suffers a heart attack while breastfeeding her baby. What happened next is breaking the heart. Today's story takes place in Buenos Aires. Anna lived there with her first child, Benjamin. He was only a year old when he had an event that would change his life forever. It was a morning like any other. Always walks the quality eager to see the face of her little boy. She woke up with kisses, went through the routine of changing her fraud, and then sat next to her in the rocking chair to perform a breastfeeding ritual of little Benjamin. Putting on her left breast, and although she felt a little pain, she also felt the satisfaction of giving her best for the growth of her beloved son. Chest pain spreads to the back and left arm. Fortunately, the woman has a breastfeeding pad that allows her to take care of her posture so that these pains do not get worse. She endures discomfort while waiting for it to subside. However, the discomfort does not stop. On the contrary, it becomes increasingly painful, although she had decided not to stop. She was forced to pull Benjamin off her chest, so the boy began to cry loudly. The mother starts her excessively, realizes that something is wrong. She wants to get her cell phone for help, so she gets up, but she can't pick up the phone. She feels her whole body is petrified. Then a chest grip. The mother is going through a cardiac arrest. Anna, says Mika on the floor with the boy in her arms. Fortunately, Benjamin fell on top of his mother and did not suffer the impact of the blow. It falls a few meters away from Anna. The little boy doesn't understand what's going on and starts screaming out loud while searching for his mother. Valuable minutes pass that could define the difference between a woman's life and death. When little Benjamin ends the crying crisis, he begins to search for his mother, crawls up to her in search of comfort, but she does not respond. Anna is unconscious, and the only way to save her and seeking help when he receives no response from his mother, the boy, despite his young age, feels that something is wrong. This wonderful characteristic called survival instinct, which made our species survive over the millennia, manifests itself very strongly at that divine moment, causing the boy to crawl through the room, crying until he found the dog Benjamin's entrance door hit by the swing of the door and slides out of the house through it. He may not understand many things because of his young age, but I'm sure one thing: his mother is in danger. Denial, which is created between mother and child from the moment it is in the womb, is something of inexplicable dimensions. The boy goes out the door that opens to the front of the house. Then he crawls crying. If men desperately search for another adult, he can't talk or walk, but can cry and cry loudly until a neighbor named Benedetta sees desperate boy. Something strange is happening at Anna's house, she thought. Benedict approaches and sees the little boy in his pajamas, crying and crawling alone in the front courtyard of the house. She enters the scene and, carrying the little one in her arms, covering with her own coat, she goes to the front door to call Anna and saw her through the glass door. Lying in the living room, Benedict screams in horror and enters the house. She tries to wake Anna, but she doesn't succeed, so she realizes she was passed out. The scared one. The woman immediately screams for help. I need help. Our neighbor is unconscious in her living room. I need someone to call the ambulance to send him as soon as possible to Graciela Hospital, a neighbor. She approaches and, distressed, says Benedetta. I'm already calling. They asked me what happened, but I'm here now and I'm not sure. Thank you, Graciela. Find out through Benjamin, crawling alone. I approached and then saw that Anna had fallen into the living room. That's why the little one was outside, Benedetta explained. Another one of the neighbors is approaching. I already called. They told me they've already sent an ambulance. It's a miracle you found him. I hope everything is okay, said the neighbor in a sympathetic tone. There were so many calls they received denouncing this situation. That ambulance didn't take long to get here. They transferred the mother to the hospital immediately there. A team of doctors received, and without delay, led to intensive care. Neighbors wait for the medical staff report in the waiting room with their son Diana. They are soon informed that Anna has suffered a cardiac arrest and will be under observation. They analyzed Benjamin to make sure he didn't suffer any injuries. The doctors asked to talk to the patient's relatives. The neighbors between Algio and then Benedetta begins to talk. We don't know the Diana family, we're just their neighbors. Your family's from another town. She came to live here with her husband, but when they separated, she was left alone in the house. The doctor remained thoughtful and after a few minutes said, "Well, then you will take care of her. However, there is one thing that I do not understand how you found, being that you were passed out." So the neighbors look at Benedetta and she had to tell the whole story again. A few days later, Anna recovers and is discharged from the hospital. The good neighbors offered to help her with the heaviest tasks and with her son. The doctor was so fascinated by the story of Anna and Benjamin that he shared it in the hospital with other doctors and nurses. The story spread so much that it reached the local media. The journalists hear the story and can't believe it, so go to Diana's house to take pictures of the place and see the dog swinging little B. Entrance at the front asked to interview Year in photographing Benjamin. The news begins to circulate over the little hero's headline. At just 1 year old, young Benjamin rescued his mother from death. The people of that city were thrilled and want to meet little Benjamin. Brings in all kinds of toys and asked to take pictures with him. The news went so viral with the photos that neighbors began sharing on their networks. People started coming from other cities to meet Benjamin. Anna is happy and grateful that she is no longer in deep solitude and misery thanks to a miracle. Now she has a lot to thank her little son and the neighbors. The mother is surrounded by permanent love for her little boy, to the point of having to set photo schedules so as not to disturb the rest of Benjamin. She received donations and other displays of love that made her feel deeply accompanied, and her neighbors were absolutely sympathetic and unconditional to her and Benjamin for all these gifts of life. When she opened a nursery in her home, she helped struggling mothers take care of their children friends. We've reached the end of today's exciting story. Put US comments your opinion and don't forget to let your subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss a new story until the next one.